got to know each other very, very much throughout this case.
Yes.
And unfortunately, my questions are not going to seem to have an even flow, but I just have a very, very few specific questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
First off, you did an interview with Susana's mom.
Yes.
And did she, I don't know if she maintained no or if she said she didn't know, but in your interview with her, didn't she tell you that she labeled Susana as a runaway?
I believe that that's the way the report read, yes. I don't know if she meant she said she was a runaway or
that she has run away.
Yeah.
And also she told you that she was addicted to marijuana, even though she might not have said the word marijuana. She might have referred to pot or something like that.
She did not say addicted. That was what was translated to me. It was later reviewed, and that is not what Miss Maria said.
Well, then what did she say about the marijuana?
She said basically she didn't want Susana hanging out with Kelly because Kelly does drugs and Susana was smoking weed already. That's not verbatim. That's when it was explained to me again.
Okay, so the other officer who speaks Spanish that's translating, he messed up the translation?
Yes.
Did you go back and verify the full interview to see if he misinterpreted or mistranslated anything else?
No, not the entire interview.
And in Jasmine's interview, she talked a little bit about a diary, and you asked her for the diary. Did you ever get the diary?
No, I didn't.
Do you have to have a psychological evaluation to be in the military?
Ooh, that was 2008. I think you do. Yes.
Yeah, my brother's in the Marines, and I was trying to think back too. So
Yeah, you go through a whole process. It's a whole day at MEPS at a fort. I went to Fort Gillem. I'm pretty sure they did, along with a ton of other things.
Right, and as a cop, you would.
Yes.
Did you have to redo the psychological when you became an officer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. If Miles's phone, either one of them, is hitting off of a tower that is close to his apartment, or where Susana's phone, where the crash alert occurred, he could not have been where the body was found on 316. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, not at the same time.
And the media reports that we've all seen, most of the time they would include the picture of her, especially when she was still missing.
Yes.
And we've seen some specific searches, but that is not all inclusive of all of the searches that he did on his phone. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that would have been thousands of pages.
And I'm so glad you did not bring all of those with you today. Now, when there was a Google for Gwinnett Unsolved Murders, that was immediately after Susana went missing, correct?
It was 2 days later, I believe, July 29th.
So at that point, there had been no indication that her body had been found. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the case card that you found in the truck, there was a lot of miscellaneous items in the truck. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes.
And the charge that was on the same day that he reported his wallet stolen, if you use Apple Pay and not the physical card, that would show up as a debit as well on your bank statement, would it not?
I know from my bank statements, it'll have some kind of indication that it was Apple Pay that was used.
Okay. Do you know specifically, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, do you know specifically about his bank?
I have Navy Federal as well, and it does show up. It'll say Apple Pay. Well, it doesn't say Apple Pay. It'll say APPL. And then if you use a debit card, it'll say debit. If you use your credit card, it'll say credit card.
Okay. And if I can have just one moment, please. And just for clarification, we talked about that he did thousands and thousands of searches. It wasn't the same as what you brought in. It was other miscellaneous stuff that would have no connection to this case.
Yes, it's both. There's a lot, yeah.
All right, thank you.
By way of visual representation, the total searches in his phone,
Yes, and that's just the phone.
and just for the record, I'm holding a stack of papers here. Is this the full search history?
Pretty sure, yeah, it starts at 1. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, you went through, looked at what was relevant. That's the stuff that we included and admitted?
Yes.
Okay. In all of that search history, I don't know how many pages, hundreds of pages here, did the defendant ever search for anything related to overdoses?
No.
Thank you.
I have nothing further. Thank you, Detective.
Thank you.
May we release this witness?
She's going to come right
She's
back
going to
here.
come right there. We'll
So-
release her to the table.
Yes, Your Honor.